Thank you, Akansha. So nice of you. But the book did not sell well. The book which I wrote was for my friends, and basically, so I have to correct it. I have to be honest enough. Okay, so a very warm good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A Sunday morning and a very difficult topic. I'll try my level best to do some justice to it and utilize our time better. Uh, but today is quite special for me and a bit nostalgic too. I'll tell you why special. 1st November is a date last year almost. There's something which I was waiting for at least 4-5 months, and it came true. I'll not go into details what happened. The second thing is, of course, NIT Warangal, quite nostalgic for me. It was year 2017 actually when I came to a campus. I was leading the campus recruitment drive, and I had a boss, a new boss who had just come in, and this drive was sort of a success, scorecard for him. I had my team members. For him, of course, for them, of course, it was like a sort of fun, frolic, enjoyment. Coming with the boss, traveling with the boss, and for me, it was the why I'm going to the campuses to select the best minds. Yeah, and we did select. Actually, your college was almost the last one where we came, and with your college we almost concluded the drive. So it is quite nostalgic. From Hyderabad to Warangal, we traveled on car, and I remember that journey quite well, quite special and nostalgic for me. And thank you, Vishnu, for all the chasing, and I'm here. How can I say no? He was so polite, and his words still I remember, intriguing for me. And of course, I cannot, if I'm living in South, I dare not say no to His Highness the Vishnu, right? This is can be quite heavy and bad for me, right? So what's your why? And I'm telling you, 40 minutes, very limited time. I'll try my level best to make it simple, make it easily comprehensible, and quite workable for you people. But searching for the wise, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, it takes sometimes life, and life not ages, and lives and lives and lives all together. Yeah, in all our mythologies and all, you would have seen this, that there are sages, saints, and people who move from lives to lives, and still they are not able to comprehend this. But I'll try my level best. This topic is quite close to me. My next book is almost a little bit based on this. You'll have some reflections there. So I understood, when I was doing some research for this, that there is already a book which is written on this, and the topic is same. What's your why? And there is one more guy who talks quite good, Simon Sinek. He has also spoken a lot on why. So you can, though I have not read the book, and I will not use whatever Simon says. I'll try my level best to give you a different dimension. Yeah. So for this as a prelude, let's do some justice to the topic. My first question to all of you is: do you first know who you are? Yeah. And if in this time, if I have to show you this, then I'll give you a small exercise. Be with me for 1 minute. Follow me, whatever I'll tell you, and you will sort of know who you are. Okay. So just be with me with the questions which I ask. So we all have a laptop in front of us, or maybe a system in front of us, and we are looking at the system. Now, if I ask you a simple question, who is looking at the system? Simple question. Who is looking at the system? The answer is simple. I am looking at the system, and anyone will say, it's me who is looking at the system, right? But is it you looking at the system, or is it your eyes looking at the system? Write these things very clearly, which I am telling you. This is a journey to the self. Okay? So it is not you looking at the system, it is your eyes looking at the system. Yeah? Now, who is telling your eye to look at the system? You'd say, it is me who is telling the eye to look. Yeah, no. Let's be together. You'll say that it is me who is telling my eyes to look at the system. But again, the thing is, it is you who is telling the mind to look at the system, or your mind or your brain is telling the eye to look at the system. Yeah. So this is the second slicing. So your mind is telling, you to look at the system. The third question and the final question is, who is telling your mind to tell the eye to look at the system? Yeah, and if you have followed the things, little bit trickling, it takes sometimes ages to know this and to feel it, you will find a dark hollowness inside. Something there is inside, it is not your heart, nothing, it is something which is hollow, deep, dark inside, which is telling your mind, which is telling your eyes, and the eyes are looking at the system. We all followed this? If you followed this, then today, ladies and gentlemen, you have found who you are. That dark, hollow thing is what you are. Okay? And this is the toughest question. Now, I'll keep on coming to the question and keep on taking you with me. What's your why? Now, let's dissect the thing is what and why. Yeah? Now, what if I simplify it, what is a question something like in XY axis, there are a lot of details inside it, it is sort of an awareness. It is at that 2D section, what? It is easy a question, right? So if I ask you today that what you ate for the breakfast, it is easy to tell that, okay, whatever you ate, as simple as that. But if I ask you why, then it is quite deep. It is a deep, dense question, yeah? And it is actually a cause or a seeking thing, yeah? It is the third dimension, if I have to tell you. It is the z-axis, yeah? So if we be together here, then why is a question of seeking. So if I ask you again the same question, why you ate what you ate today, then the things will not be that easy. There was a choice maybe even not to eat, yeah? So then the why questions in your life will be toughest, yeah? And what's your why, if I have to do a little bit of justice to it, then I'll have to tell you the genesis of this why. Yeah. Now in your life, I don't know, in management they would be teaching you the 5 whys. In the case if you have to cause thing, you have to go down, then you have to go 5 whys if you ask, or 7 whys sometimes if you ask. You go to the deep depth of the problem and you get a solution. The similar thing is, but what is the genesis of this why? If I again connect the dots together, what's your why? In that, the thing is, go back to the first physics, 7th, 8th standard, the physics class. If you remember, the first time the universe was taught to us. You remember that? Most of you, all of us, would have attended the class, and there was a complete, comprehension. The first time we are seeing it, the life from the space, yeah. If you remember, and it was so dense, and it was so huge, and it was so intriguing, it was so interesting. So when we were taught Big Bang, when we were taught the solar system, first we were taught the Milky Way, right? First we were taught how the stars are made, the star dusts, those particles which are there, the black holes, right? It was beautiful, it was dense, and again all of us would have gone back in our in ourselves, in our shell, and would have searched for this question, who are we and why are we? Yeah, and that dark self which I introduced you today to you, is it like what you are? Is it what the thing, your body, which you say, your name, your body, is it that thing which you are, or it is something denser, it is something deep, it is something which is continuous, it is something which is carrying on and on and on, right? It is that which hasn't got any name, which hasn't got any direction, which hasn't got any existence, or which is eternal, which continues and continues. Now these things, whatever I am telling, if in Hindu mythology, if you go back, or even in any religion, if someone dies, such explanations are given, because there is a lot of pain and a lot of seeking happening at that time, and generally there will be a priest, or there will be a father, or Maulana, whosoever gives you a sort of an understanding that this is a journey which continues. So that is what when we say that why we are, then if you say Hindu mythology, it says you have ages and ages again, ages how you are born, and you go through all the lives, all the animals you become, and then the human life is given to you. So first thing is, in this process of seeking, what's your why? The first step which I took is, first I introduce you to yourself, right, which is you, right? The second step is, we have to seek ourselves for this understanding that why, we are in this shape form, it is a continuation of that, right? And the third thing is, then we have to start searching for this thing, our so-called whys in life. Yeah. Few days back, though I was, when Vishnu gave me the topic, and I was in this process of thinking and aligning and searching and rehearsing, and I was taking the content from my book, which is, which will be relevant here. I read somewhere in Facebook that life is just about living. Why we are searching for the whys and purposes. It is like that music which has to continue. It is like that ocean or the sea which has to be completely submerging in the anonymity and in the unknown, right? So there is, even if you search the purpose, you get the purpose. So what? And even if someone is not getting the purpose, the thing is, you have got a life and you should enjoy, every moment. But when we are talking this topic, it becomes quite evident and important for me to explain to you why it becomes important. The human brain, it always follows when the thing comes in a canvas. If the thing is free, if the z-axis is not given, right? Today, that is the reason, for example, if I have to ask you how the day looks like. So in the morning when you get up, and people keep on telling that make a plan for your day and see, from morning to evening how. So human mind likes that, and it is very used, and it is very, confident and I'll say seamless when a direction is given to it. If the direction is not given to it, it becomes lost. You will never have the fulfillment. So if we talk about the fulfillment and contentment in life, seeking the why and knowing the why becomes very important. Yeah, that is the reason, if I connect the dots to the organizations will have their visions, they will have their missions, they will have, and later comes the what's, which are the objectives. Now visions and missions, if you see the organization, it is continuous. It is like, it is, even if it is a 100 years old company or 200 years old company, the vision or the mission cannot be met. It is a continuity. Maybe the person who has started the company, he is no more now. Still, people get aligned to the whys, the visions and missions, and they still work. Yeah. So that becomes quite evident that we also, as human beings, first forget the organizations, first define our whys. That is quite very important for us. So in this, the first exercise which we did is, I took you close to your soul, the dark self which was there inside, and that is the reason, if it's a lot of people, right, I'm telling you, beautiful English or beautiful Hindi or the beautiful Urdu, and the depth, if you find, there's a word called Ruhaniyan, yeah, which is quite deep, which is quite seeking. And there is a guy who is called Rumi. I don't know if you have read him. His things are quite deep, and I really love him for whatever lines or poems I come across. He's quite beautiful. He's quite deep, right? So he has written one beautiful sentence, and it keeps on coming to my mind time and again. Whatever you are seeking is seeking you. Whatever you seek is seeking you. Now, your why, so you are seeking your why, and your why is also seeking you. It is that connection, right? And which is very important, that in day-to-day life, and this corona or this pandemic has given us enough time. Generally we say that we don't know what we want to do or why we want to do and these things, but today you have enough time to comprehend, to go back, to check, to deep dive inside. What is the purpose of your life? What you want to do. Yeah. One more example I tell you, and this is quite common, and I think I heard it for the first time in Batman, some picture. It is like dog, if you don't know your why, it is like dog chasing a car. Yeah. And you see, if you have gone through that circumstance when, or that situation when the dog is chasing a car, and it is like, he's so fast and he's so anxious and he's so much into it, it is going behind, and as you accelerate, the speed of the dog also goes up. But the thing is, even when you stop, right, when you stop sometime, and the dog becomes completely okay, as if He will see the sky, he will see, left or right, or he'll say that as if he was not that guy who was chasing you. So the thing is, it is like dog chasing the car. If you don't know your why and you are living your life, it is like dog chasing a car. Even if you get something, those small bucket list or whatever you guys make these days, which you call as the purpose of life. Even if you get that, you will not know, what is the importance of it, yeah, and why you got it and why you were crazy about it. So it is that thing, when we say this, you can connect most of you, a relationship, right? So today we all are, you all are in that age that a lot of hormones are high, and a lot of you will be seeking a life partner, and some of you would be having a life partner, right? And the thing is, but here the life partner, if the real one, it is called the soul connection. You have to understand the whys, both of you, and if it gets connected, life becomes beautiful, right? Otherwise, it is like friends with benefits, or it is like, today we marry, and these days divorces are also quite high. So if your whys are not connected, then okay, I don't know why he's behaving like this. Life becomes different after marriage. The first thing is, are the whys connected? And that is how important the whys, yeah. And it is not this phase, this why thing will chase you throughout your life. I have seen many old people, and I keep on having such discussions. And also, someone of you can ask me, what gravity, or what, how should I know that you are giving me the right direction? Yeah, are you the right person who can help me search my why? You don't look like a Baba, you don't look like a Gyani. How should I have that confidence that you will give my why? I'm not giving you why, I'm just telling you about the entire process. My only thing is, which I take very confidently, I live my life very, very minutely. I observe a lot. And that is the profession of HR. You keep on listening to the people, you have to observe. Then only you make the good HR, right? So that is my profession. And plus the elements which you are taught, like counseling or psychology, or whatever you can say, those behavioral things, which requires a lot of observation. The thing is, we observe human beings a lot. And not only that, if you remember the Maslow's law, the last thing is self-actualization, and we are forced to be in that situation, because in organization, anyone comes to HR for a solution. Either it can be a small thing, why he did not got promoted, or maybe sometimes in the midlife crisis, that I don't know where my life is moving, and can you give me some direction? Then we have to be that wise enough and seeking. So we have to live that life very closely, and with that, if you allow me to say, with that wisdom, or that it's not intelligence, it's just that wisdom, I come today in front of you to help you know this why and what this entire episode looks like. Yeah. In the morning, so where I stay, my office is a bit far, and generally it takes about 1.5 hours to go to the office. And in the morning I see a lot of people going to the offices. It's quite morning. It's like 6:30, 7:30 is when I am on my way, and I keep on seeing the crowd. Everyone is going towards a goal, towards a journey. They want to reach there fast, and I can see a lot of vehicles which are next to me, left, right, center, and everyone has got a why, and they all are chasing that, right? And it is beautiful. I keep on observing that a lot, and it's a very beautiful feeling. And this crowd changes every moment. At every red light, this crowd changes. There is a new pack of people which comes, and I keep on seeing their expressions from the windows of my car. My driver is quite good, so he keeps the drive very smooth. And my thing is, the entire 1.5 hours is a deep observation for the things which is happening left and right to me. And then I keep on thinking when I reach, or many times I observe, in my previous office, I used to sit on 4th floor, and I used to observe the employees coming to the office. I could see the main gate, about 8,000 of them used to be working, and from the 4th floor I used to see at the main gates, I see a lot of people, a lot of young energy coming in a different form and fashion. Someone is excited, someone is not excited. You know what, I went to one of the college, and they proposed, when I was talking such things to them, they told me, Pranav, why should not do analysis where we'll put a camera, and we'll put a lot of algorithm, and we are about to measure the happiness quotient. So when an employee enters the office, we will see the facial expression, everything, record that, and when the employee leaves the office, we will see the facial expression, or his feeling, or his body language and all. which will give us an indication about the well-being of the employee. Very easily said, very dense thing to do. We started working on it, and it was not that easy an exercise. It continued, and we could not complete the thing at the same time. But quite a beautiful idea, right? So there's organizations also, they search a lot on the happiness quotient. But this happiness quotient, and these days organizations are also that this pandemic was a beautiful example. So we make the vision and mission, and you have the employees. Now, before, when I see, there are a lot of plastic things which are moving, right? A lot of jamming session, hacking sessions, and a lot of those plastic engagements which used to happen, right? Now in the pandemic, we observed one beautiful thing, and of course a lot of things where HR was forefronting it. So we found that employees, and these were the things which we were in a direction of execution, that connect the employees, the purpose of the employees to the purpose of the company. Till the time they are connected, right, there will be full engagement. Yeah, your purpose and my purpose are connected, so we are partners, right? And it was quite evident. Now all the organizations where this purpose was connected, the why was connected, there was no hampering. Employees were completely together, they were completely fine, they were all connected, right, with the same vim, vigor and vitality. For the organizations where the purpose were not connected, you have a lot of frustrations between the employee and the management, and because a lot of anxiety was also there inside the system, right? So this is quite a detailed subject we all have to understand, and we all have to think. But the beginning starts, the genesis starts from you, and the search of the why has to start from you. Yeah. Now, when we see that, okay, how the search of why should happen within us. Yeah. So most of us, when we say we are in a search of the purpose, or the search of our whys, right? So the first thing which is flashing in your mind is maybe somewhere sitting in the mountain, or somewhere next to the beach, or somewhere inside some forest. You are sitting like Buddha or some great saint, and suddenly the why will come in your mind, and something will trickle, and things doesn't happen like that. Yeah. The thing is, it is very unceremonial. It is maybe a small incident which happens to you can give you a why. I am connected with a lady in LinkedIn, and it was a very different subject which I see she was doing. She just feeds the stray dogs, and she does the sort of a crowdsourcing and requests people to finance that. So she just goes on the roads of Gurgaon and feeds the stray dogs. This pandemic, when all of us were busy in our own lives to secure our own uncertainties and insecurities, few of people also were supporting, for example, the lower strata of the society. Now this lady, her job was only to feed the stray dogs, and it was such a beautiful thing. My God, people were busy in so many other factors, and I could see such a beautiful wife, such a untouched, which is completely unthought for. Yeah. Quite a beautiful thing, right? And many of us, we are doing many different things, right? It is that unceremonial, it is that uncalled for. Yeah. When I was in army, and when I was about to join, and the training happened, and I used to have a lot of questions, because I was the first guy in my entire khandan, if you say, who was joining army, and we four of us, we stayed together in the junior term. So that there is a lot of issues when you go for such a heavy training. A few people also commit suicide, they run away. So there is a group, they are created, like 4 of them will stay together, and every guy is assigned a buddy. Means I am a sort of a best pal for someone. Like in colleges you have these buddy system these days, and every guy is assigned a senior, so that the talking and everything happens. But the body is in such a pain, the mind doesn't connect, right? So it is a complete torment thing which is happening with the body. And I keep on asking, why we are doing this, why we are running, why we are not doing drill, what is the reason behind it? And my buddy, who was a brigadier's son, he was quite kind and patient enough. Every time he used to explain me, Pranav, this is for that, this is for that, that is for that, this is fine. And still I was sort of, okay, the training happened, we complete the training. I finished the entire training in what, 30 seconds or 10 seconds for you, but it is quite a strong and heavy thing which carries on throughout your life. For any army guy, if you ask him about the training, what he can continue days and months together explaining about the training which he has done. Still the why was not clear. And of course the uniform came, and one day I was wearing the uniform, and I was there at LC, and I was seeing the other side of the fence. I was there with my guys, and something deep was coming inside, inside my spine. It was entering from there to my heart, and I had tears in my eyes. And then I could feel the why. I was feeling so proud that this is the land which I am protecting, and if I don't protect it, some lives will be lost here. It is that strong a situation, and India might lose a portion of the land. But there, that why entered me, that why I was doing it, though it was quite after some time when I had completed my training. So it is so unceremonial. It can happen anytime. When you're sitting there, walking, roaming in a mall, jumping from somewhere. It doesn't happen. Occasionally, it might happen. When you are there in mountains and beaches or forests. It can happen anywhere. So that is. I'll tell you the timing. I want to tell you the timing of it. It is that. But ladies and gentlemen, one thing which I have to tell you, that it is very important a thing, right? And in this phase, right, where we all are, and where there is a lot of noise around, right? You talk about social media, you talk about the current situation, the pandemic happening. When you see today, all of you are in a different location, thinking and visualizing your career. There is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of frustration, there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of uncertainty which is moving inside you. Yeah, and we all incorporate. We are understanding it. We are there with you, and we experience it together. Yeah. But this is the time also, ladies and gentlemen, where in this entire time which you have, you should start thinking from that point of view, that why I am here, why I am doing what I am doing, and where I am heading to. Yeah, if you can define some timelines, if you can define some milestones, right, life will be easy. So if I have to tell you, this is the best time in your lives to create the why. And if you don't do it now, I don't know what better time you will get it to create your why. So to make your life simple, we started with, I introduced you to the self, which was there inside you and under so much of layers, and it was covered maybe, right? Then we went into the understanding of the thing coming from the childhood, the solar system, the Milky Way and all that. We went a little bit on the soul thing, dog chasing the car, right? We spoke a little bit on the why and the what, right? Those things. And I gave you some examples on how and it can be searched, right? So with this, I'll pause. It is, again I repeat, it is quite nostalgic. NIT Warangal, and this small story I have to tell you. So I was very clear, and as I told you that sorry, I think there was a call. Yeah. So as I told you, I was there in the last leg of recruitment, and I was there in your campus, and the hotel which I was staying was called Ambassador Hotel. And the first time I saw in a hotel, in the bathroom there was a fan. I was not very happy with the way. I don't know if few of you have gone to that hotel or that restaurant or whatever it is. I was really frustrated. No, I have never seen such an untidy hotel where, so we were almost on a spree of visiting 20-30 campuses in India, and I told it was one of the last location where we went, and it was a big journey because one day before I was there in Pune, a day before. The next day I had to travel back to Chennai for some specific meeting, and the next day again I had to travel. So I would have gone directly from Pune to Warangal or there. So from Chennai again I flew to Hyderabad, and from there my team was meeting, and we went to Warangal. So a lot of preparation and readiness was there, and then I entered your campus and we were in the recruitment spree. And this is not a point, it is not which I am pinpointing, I am just telling you how it is. So the first guy who came to me, his shirt was not ironed, he was not shaven, and completely untidy. And typically, because recruiters have to be quite well dressed and quite well to do, so I was quite seated quite well, geared up. So I told him, the first question from me to you is, why you are like this? And he was completely, blank, and he told me that I could not get it, sir. I told him, if I am coming from more than, let's say, 1500, 2000 kilometers from here, and if I am groomed and if I am prepared, if I am sitting in front of you, quite well prepared, why are you not prepared? Are you doing any favor to me sitting in this meeting or this interview? He had no thoughts. I told, can you please get out and please, prepare yourself and then come for this meeting. He went, and of course after that, I got busy and a lot of other candidates. This was the first guy. And he came post lunch, so he was completely well dressed, well shaven, in front of me. And of course I interviewed him. His technical round was over, he was selected. He was the first guy actually. So I selected him, and fine, I told him, see, first I have to teach you a lesson, because if I don't tell you, right, no one will teach you this. And if I don't do the right grooming here, it was very simple to say, how does it matter? And he was giving me some story that, okay, he was busy, he was coming from somewhere, he was traveling and all that thing. I was a bit rude and harsh, but okay, I have to teach him a lesson. And then, of course, I got busy coming here, and I would not remember his face or his name. But when the thing was over, we selected about 300 people from across India, and I must tell that these were the best guys, whom we have selected. Maybe would have interviewed maybe 4 times that number, so maybe 1,000, 2,000 people we would have interviewed, and from there we have selected these 300 people. And then I called my team back when the thing was over and when their orientation was happening. We call it step up, and then I call them and say, these all people you see that you have made this change in this organization. These all people are selected by you. It was quite a proud feeling for them, because as I told, my boss had a thing, because he has to prove himself that he has done some great thing. So of course he had an agenda. The team has an agenda with this entire thing, that okay, to have fun and how the entire thing happens. They were young guys, young kids. But for me, the why was very clear from day one, right? And that I have to get the best talent inside the organization, and to groom them and to bring them to the first job what they come into. So life was going fine. We all were busy, and one fine day I was taking a train to somewhere. And one guy comes to me and he tells me that, sir, do you remember me? I don't know, I don't remember you. He told, sir, I'm the same guy whom you selected from NIT Warangal, and you told me to go and shave and come. And I had a big smile on my face, and he told, sir, that was the first thing, learning, and it has helped me a lot. And now, of course, I ensure that I'm well prepared for any meeting or any interview. He was working there last time till the time we met. And I must tell you that he must be doing quite well and good wherever he is. So that's what it is, guys. Whenever, wherever, you have your voice clear, and if people get associated with you. So there is also a saying which says, either you have your voice or someone else will make you work for their voice, right? So if you're clear with your voice, and if the people are getting connected to the why, as I told that I had my why clear, that I have to get the best talent from across India. And if you have whys, your why is clear, and if you have the people getting connected to your why, be very specific, right? Because otherwise your why will be materialized, it will be it will be sacrificed, and that strength of that why will go. So be very choosy and very particular in that. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen. I am done with my topic. I think I did some justice. Thanks a lot. I'm open for the questions. Thank you.